And I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today we'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson on homophones. And before we start with our lesson, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts, grade 2, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of homophones. All right, so our chapter is homophones. Our subject is English Language Arts, grade 2. And the lesson that we are going to be focusing on is homophones with pictures. We're going to identify homophones, and we're also going to use the correct homophone. So that is going to be our lessons for today, and we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so homophones are words that sounds the same but have different spellings as well as meanings. Right? So homophones are words with different spelling. It's like they basically sound the same. It's words that we say that sound the same, but the spelling as well as the meanings are different. All right. And if we look at an example, right, of homophones, then it is my friends and I buy lunch. So basically the word, look at the first word buy, right? It's B-U-Y. So buy lunch. And the word buy, this word buy, which is B-U-Y, it means that you are paying for something. So it's like going to the shop and buying something, right? So you need to basically pay, you need to give money, and then the owners of the shop will give you something. So it's basically an exchange of you giving money and the shop owners giving you either the goods, right? So that is the first word buy, which is B, U, and Y, right? Then we have another one, then it says then we all eat together by the big tree. And this by is B-Y, right? So this word B-Y, it basically gives us, it's almost like telling us, not direction, but it's like almost like distance, right? It means near. So it's like if we are sitting by the tree, you can either show or give direction to be like, okay, no, we're sitting over there by the tree near, wherever. So it's like showing some form of distance, right? And we say bye to each other, which is BYE. So we say bye to each other when the bell rings. And this word bye is short for goodbye, right? So when you are leaving, either you're going home from school, you're leaving home to go to school, leaving friends, family to go home or to go wherever. So now when you're greeting, but you're leaving, now you say bye, which is short for goodbye, right? And if we look at all three of these words, which is bye, B-U-Y, or B-Y, or B-Y-E, right? All three of these words, right, they sound the same. But if we look at the spellings, all three of the spellings are different. And also, all three of the meanings are different. So those are homophones, right? So homophones are words that sounds the same, like the word buy, but the spellings are different as well as the meanings of those words are different, right? Because we say that the first word buy, B-U-Y, it means to pay for something. B-Y means it is almost like to show some form of distance, to show near. And B-Y-E is short for saying goodbye. So all three of those words, they sound the same, but they have different spellings as well as different meanings. All right, so now if we look at these examples of homophones, right? Here we have pictures of homophones and they're giving us double pictures. So now we can see two different, let's say two different pictures or two different words, but they have the same, they basically have the same sound or they sound the same. Like for example, the color red, right? So the color red, which is RED, and then we also have the same sound as read, right? Which means that you are reading a book. So reading a book, but in the past tense. So if you, for example, say the word, say if you say, I read the book, right? It means that you are telling us that you already you did read the book. Let's just put the word did there, right? So that is in the past tense. So it's read and read. All right. Then we have another one, which is write and write. So the first one, write, which is WRITE, it's like where you're using your pen, your pencil, and you are writing a note, right? That is the first word, write. It's like you're writing a note, writing a letter, write in your diary, right? And then the second word, write, is, let's say, for example, it's either direction, we are either going right or left, or you can maybe even make mention of your right hand, right? So that is a second word that is right. Then we have chili and chili, right? And the first word chili, which is CHILLY, is it's like when you're getting cold, right? So like maybe when it's snowing, and you say that you're actually getting cold, so now you're like, oh, it is chilly outside, right? So that is the first word, chili. And then we have the other chili, which is CHILI, which is that little, it's like a vegetable or chilies that we put, chili peppers that we put in the food, that is very hot. right? Um, yeah, to make the food a bit spicy. So that is the other word chili. So both of these words, chili, they sound the same, but the meanings as well as the spellings are different. Then we have the word see and see. So the first word see is double E, is where we see with our eyes. Like I can see the work in front of me. I see on my laptop, I see on my computer, I see on the TV, right? I see my friends and family or whatever. And then the other C, which is SEA, is the ocean, right? So that is the other word C. And as you can see, so far these words, they all sound the same, right? The, let's say the double words, the pairs, they sound the same, but the spellings as well as the meanings are different, right? Then we have flu and flu. The first flu is when when you're ill or you're sick, right? You have a fever. And then flu is when we are flying, right? It's the past tense of fly, which is flu. Then we have rain and rain. The first rain is, when it is, let's say, depending on the weather, clouds are full and now it's starting to rain, droplets of rain. And then the other word rain, which is REIGN, it's like, for example, when, the kings and queens sitting on the throne and they rule and they reign. That is the other word rain. Then we have ant and ant, right? So ant is a little insect, that comes out when you leave something sweet on the floor, and your aunt, which is either your mom or dad's sister. Then we have male and male. The first word male, which is MAIL, is letters that you get in the post that somebody posted, with, that you can either get from the post office or that is delivered in your letterbox or in your mailbox. Or we have the other word male, which is, let's say, a man or man figure, right? So if you're a boy, then you're also a male. All right, so these are a few examples of um these are a few examples of homophones, right? And we said homophones are words that sounds the same, but they have different spellings as well as meanings, right? So the words they sound the same, but the spelling as well as the meaning of these words are different. All right, and here we just once again have um, examples of homophones, right? Where we see that the words they sound the same, but they are spelled differently, and they also have different meanings. So there are actually a lot of homophones, right? And also sometimes the problem comes when we are writing. So when we write words or we write a letter or you need to write an essay, we need to write something, then we sometimes use the wrong spelling of the word, right? So the word that you are actually writing has a totally different meaning to what the sentence is, right? Or to the flow of the sentence. All right. So now if we look at this activity over here we have homophones, right? But they are all jumbled up. So they want us to match the correct homophones with the pair, right? Where the words they sound the same, but the spelling, of course, as well as the meanings are different. So, for example, we have right, sun, eight, pair, hair, male, right, night, sun, pair, and flower, male. Yeah, we also have flower, hair, night, waist, eight, and waist. And even if we don't jumble up these words, right? If you look at these words and you also look at the pictures, right, then you'll be able to see the differences between the words. It sounds the same, however, the spelling of the words as well as the meanings that are different. So the pictures will basically tell you how different it is, or the pictures will even give you an idea of what the meaning is of the words. Like, for example, here we have right. I'm going to circle it. So here we have right, and it shows us a direction. So this guy is, the finger is pointing in, let's say, for example, in the right direction, right? And then in the second row, we have where this guy has a pen in his hand and he is writing a note. So right and right. Then we have the second one, which is this, a mother and a son, right? So the son is the little boy. And then here we have the sun that comes out every day, right? That brings sunshine. Then we have somebody eating food. So we call that eight. And then here right at the bottom, we have the number eight. So as you can see, both of them sound the same, but even if we look at the spelling of these words, they are different. And even if we look at the pictures of the word, the meanings are different. Then we have pair. It's like a pair of shoes, pair of socks, right? Anything that is two, a pair shows two. And then over here, the homophone is pear, which is a fruit, right, that you eat. Then we have hare, a hare, which is another word for a rabbit. And then we have hair on our heads. Either have long hair, short hair, straight hair, curly hair, right? Our hair types are different. Then we have male, right, which is a man, which is a, if it's a younger version, it's a boy, right? And then we have male, which we get in the post box. Then we have knight, right, which protects the, let's say, protects the, what can we say, the castle, for example. And then we have night, which is when the sun sets and the moon comes out at night. Then we have ant, which is that little insect. Like I say, when you throw when you, something sweet or something falls on the floor and then you see ants coming out. And then you have your aunt, which is either your mom or your dad's sister or family member. Then we have flour, and this flour we either bake cake with, right? And then we have flour, which is your sunflower or any form of flour, which is, that you can find in a garden. And then the last one is waste, which is rubbish, right? So you throw rubbish in the bin, we call that waste. And then the last picture that matches the word waste also is your waste, which is like your heaps, right? So these are homophones, right? And like we said, homophones are words that sounds the same. You can have two, three, four words that sounds the same, right? But the spelling of these words as well as the meaning of these words are different, right? All right, so now let's go to aplusstudents.ca. And we're going to homophones with pictures. We're going to look at the different pictures or the homophones with pictures. And if we look at this picture, right, we need to choose the correct word, right? So this is an ant, right? Do we spell this word ant like this, or do we spell it ant like this? Which word is, or which word is the correct word that matches the picture? So we need to match one of these two words with the correct picture. Ant. So we need to choose one of these words that matches this picture over here, the ant. So is it the first word ant, which is A-N-T, or A-U-N-T? And if we were to choose the correct word to match the picture, then we will choose the first one, right? So the first word ant, which is A-N-T, is the picture, right? So that's an ant. All right, if we look at the next word, the next picture, right? We need to choose one of these words to match the picture. So we have the word wood and we have the word wood. We need to basically choose one of these words to match the picture. Wood or wood, which is wood, W-O-U-L-D, or W-O-O-D. Wood, which is your logs, which you can use to make fire. So we need to choose the correct word. All right, so if we were to choose the correct word that matches the picture, then we would choose wood, which is W-O-O-D, right? And we use that to make a fire. We get another word for that is like logs. All right, and then the last word before we go to our test, right? This is a road, right? So we need to choose the correct word. Is it road or road? We need to choose one of these words that matches the picture. Road or road, R-O-D-E or R-O-A-D. All right, and if we choose the correct word, right, this word R-O-D-E, right, it is the past tense of ride, which means that it's not this one. Then this is road, right? It is a road that the cars drive on, right? It's an open road. All right, so now we're going to our test where we are going to with pictures. And please do give me the correct answer, give me your answer if possible, whether the answer is correct or not correct, but it will give me an idea that you are actually present and you do understand. So at least like try to give me one of the answers, whether you say it's the first one or the second one, or you can give me the word. All right, so now we're going to say which word matches the picture, right? Is it rose or rose? We need to choose one of these words to match the picture. Rose or rose? The first one, the first option, or the second option to match the picture. So rose being like a flower that you pick in a garden. Which one is the correct word? Rose, R-O-W-S, the first one, or rose, R-O-S-E? All right. Yes. So if we choose the correct one, then the second option is correct. So well done, Matthew. The second one is correct, which is rose, right? It's like saying roses are red, right? So that is a rose that you pick in the garden, right? Get different colors, but this one is red. So the second option is correct. So well done. Rose is correct. Which word matches is a lady with a pen? Do we say she write a note, which is W-R-I-T-E, or the second one, write a note, R-I-G-H-T? We need to choose one of these two words which matches what she's doing. She's writing a note. Is it W-R-I-T-E or R-I-G-H-T? Well done. Rose is correct. So we now need to say which word right matches what the lady is doing. She's writing a note, writing a letter. Is it the first option, which is W-R-I-T-E, or is it the second option, which is R-I-G-H-T? Right. All right, and if we choose the correct word that matches the picture, right, then we will choose the first option because it shows this word W-R-I-T-E. It means write. It basically indicates that she's writing a note, writing a letter, right? Writing in your diary or something. The second option is, let's say, direction. It's either right or left, or right hand or left hand, right? So we'll go with the first option, which is right. All right. Which word matches the picture? Here we have a coin, right? It's a, I don't know what sign is that, but this is a coin and it's a cent. It's a cent, right? So now which word matches the cent? Is it S-E-N-T or C-E-N-T? S-E-N-T or C-E-N-T. Scent. All right, so if we choose the correct one to match the picture, right, then we will choose the second option, which is scent, C-E-N-T. So this is, for example, scent, which is like to do with money. And the other word sent is like when you're sending something or posting something or sending a letter, right? Right, so sent is correct. So which word matches the picture? We have B and B. B-E or B-double-E. So B, we get honey from this bee. They are black and yellow. And if you, for example, anger the bee, and then the bee will sting you. So is it B-E or B-double-E? All right, and if we choose the correct word, then we will choose the second option. Well done. B-double-E means bee, this black and yellow bee that stings, that give us honey, right? So that is correct. All right, so now we're going to identify homophones. And once again, homophones are words that sounds the same, but they have different spelling as well as different meanings. You can sometimes get, like, you can sometimes find two, three, or even more words that sounds the same, right? But the spelling as well as the meaning of these words are different. So now we're going to identify the specific homophones within the picture, within the sentence. We are going to select the homophone of hi, hi. It's like saying hi. It's like greeting someone. Hi, hello, hey, right? So we need to select the correct word within the sentence that matches the word hi, which is hi. It says Alex climbed to the top of the high wall. So we need to choose one of these words within the sentence that matches the word hi, that sounds the same as the word hi. It's like greeting, saying hello or hey. So Alex climbed to the top of the high wall. All right, so we are going to have to choose the words that sounds the same, but of course the spelling is different. Alex climbed to the top of the high wall. And if we choose the correct word, which basically matches with that word high, then we'll choose this word high, right? So which means that the first word high, which is this word over here, It's like your greeting, right? It's like saying hi, hello, hey. And then the word that we had to match it with, hi, right? It basically shows either how high it is. So you need to climb very high to get to the top of something. That is how high something maybe is. So as you can see, these are two words that sounds the same, but the spelling as well as the meaning of these two words are different. All right, we need to select the homophone of nose. Like I know, like nose, right? Mitch's nose is red from the sun. So Mitch's nose is red from the sun. We need to match a specific word within the sentence that matches, or we need to choose a word in the sentence to match the word nose. Let's say a homophone that sounds the same as the word nose, but the spelling as well as the meaning of the words are different. Nose. So this word knows is like saying he knows something about you. He knows that you did whatever, you stole the money. And if we were to match this word, let's say to find the homophone of this word, then we will choose nose, which is Nose. And it is this little thingy that we use to smell with, right, on our face. So these two words are homophones. Sounds the same, but the spelling and the meaning of the words are different. Nose, right? All right, so let's quickly go to our test. We need to select the homophone of buy, B-Y-E. We need to select the homophone of buy. I always buy bread at the store. So B-Y-E, buy. We need to choose the homophone. The first option, buy, or the second option, bread, that matches the buy. Buy. And if we were to choose the correct word, then we will choose the first option, right? So the option is to buy something. It's like you're paying for something. We need to select the homophone of hear. It's like you're hearing with your ears, right? I can hear you. I hear what you're saying. I hear the music. There's a hole in my head right here. So is the word hear, Here, or hole, which that word hear, which is the homophone of that word hear. And if we were to find the homophone of the word year, then it would be the first option. All right. All right, then before we end our lesson, we're going to aplusclasses.ca. We're going to learning materials, to reading. Then we're going to scroll right down up until we get to the four purple beautiful boxes. And we're going to go to the third option, which is read along audio books, level 1. And we are going to send a letter. We're going to read the book, A Letter to Grandma. So we can just listen to the pronunciation of the words, right, as well as the book.
A Letter to Grandma by Cheryl Bino Golder. I love and miss my grandma. She lives far away. I drew a picture for her of us walking together. Then I wrote her a letter and sent it in the mail. I wrote my grandma's name and address on the envelope. The address tells the post office where to take the letter. I put a stamp in the top right-hand corner of the envelope. I chose a fruit stamp because my grandma loves to eat fruit. I put my letter in our mailbox. The mail carrier picked it up and off it went to my grandma's house. The next day I called my grandma and asked her if she received my letter. She said, "Not yet." Several days later my grandma checked her mailbox. My letter arrived. My grandma was so happy when she read my letter and saw my beautiful picture. I finally got to visit my grandma again. We gave each other a big hug. I love you, Grandma.
All right, so that is one of our audiobooks. So every week we are definitely going to read our audiobooks, right? We are going to read together, and the audiobooks is basically there to assist us with the reading. It helps us with the grammar and it also helps us with the pronunciation of words. All right, this is now the end of our lesson grade twos on homophones, and we said homophones are words that sounds the same, but they have different spelling as well as the meaning of the words also different, right? So we can have more than one word that sounds the same, but the spellings as well as the meanings of these words are different. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on homophones. Thank you very much for joining our class. I really hope you're going to have a good day further. Goodbye.